These videos are like my favorite to put out, but my least favorite to actually sit down and film. I don't know why this gives me anxiety. Every month I sit down to film my wrap-up video and I'm just stressed out. Am I the only one? Probably. What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm filming my August wrap-up video. So I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I read in the month of August, which is 12 books. So I ended up reading 12 books in the month of August, which is a really good number for me. I'm really happy with pretty much all of the books that I read. A lot of romance book. I was still very much in my romance era. I am feeling myself getting out of romance, like slowly. I'm starting to get sick of romance, I think, but I read a lot of them in the month of August. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start with my few non-romance book and then we'll get into all of the romance book that I read. The first book that I want to talk to you guys about is the only fantasy book that I read this month, and it is The Blood Traitor by Lynette and Noni. This is the third and last book in the Prison Healer series. I won't go into much detail about this one because first of all it is the third book in a series, and also I have a reading vlog on this one. I love this one. It was such a good conclusion to a series. It was so it felt so satisfying. It felt so satisfying finishing this series by the way the author wrapped everything up. It just felt really nice and very I love the way everything ended in this series, so I loved it. I highly recommend this whole series if you guys are interested in it. I loved it. The next book that I have to talk to you guys about is once again a book that was featured in one of my reading vlogs, and it is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This is newest book by Riley Sager. It came out in the month of July, I think. I was very hesitant picking up this book up because I've heard some horrible reviews on this book, but I've seen a few people here and there loving this book, so it made me really interested in picking this book up, and I ended up not really liking this book. I gave it 2.5 stars, 3 stars. Most of it I was kind of bored throughout the whole half of the book, and then the plot twist happened in the middle of the book, and then I wasn't really into it, and then I still had 100 pages or more left to read. I was just not really interested in this book. Probably my least favorite book from Riley Sager. If you guys want more of my thoughts on it, go check out my reading vlog. Next book that I have for you guys is Recursion by Blake Crouch. I was reading a lot of romance books, so I decided to pick this one up to kind of change things up. No, I was reading Colleen Hoover books. I did a whole reading vlog on Colleen Hoover and I wanted to mix things up a little bit, so I picked this one up in the middle of it and I ended up loving this one. I gave it 4 stars. It was so good. It's very Blake Crouch-esque. So if you guys I only read Dark Matter, but if you liked Dark Matter, then I think you're gonna like this one. How do I explain this book? It's about this guy who's a cop, and then he kind of investigates this thing called false memory syndrome, and then he ends up there's time travel. He ends up meeting this neuroscientist. It's really interesting. It was a little bit confusing, just like Dark Matter was, in my humble opinion. I got a little bit confused reading it. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to read these books, but they're super fast-paced, super quick read, very much a page turner, and I highly recommend this one if you are into a sci-fi thriller. The last book that I read that was not a romance book is Front Desk by Carley. I love this one so freaking much. I gave this one 4 stars as well. It was so freaking cute. I have a reading vlog for this one as well, so go check it out. This is a middle grade book. It was super freaking adorable. It's about this girl who lives in a motel with her parents. Her parents kind of runs the motel, and she helps at the motel. She goes to school, she makes friends, and it was just so freaking adorable. It is a series, so I will be continuing with the series. I even annotated this book because it was so freaking adorable. It had a lot of message in this one. Obviously it's very young. It's a contemporary middle grade, so it's super young. I normally read fantasy middle grade, but I would still recommend this one if you guys are interested in it. I thought it was freaking adorable. The next 3 books that I want to talk to you about were all featured in my Reading Colleen Hoover books for a week. So I'm going to go over them super quickly and go check out that reading vlog if you guys are interested. The first one that I want to talk to you about is It Ended With Us by Colleen Hoover. Obviously, I give this one 5 stars. I loved it so much. It's probably the most popular book by Colleen Hoover, with good reason. It has hype for good reason. I would highly recommend it. Go into it blindly. I think it's the best. I kind of knew what was going to happen while I was reading it, so I was like waiting for that event to happen. So maybe it didn't have the impact that it was supposed to have on me, but I love this one. The next Colleen Hoover book that I read was Reminders of Him, and I love that one. I think a little bit more than this one, to be very honest. It is a 5 stars. I didn't know anything about that book when I went into it, but I just loved it. I fell in love with these characters. I fell in love with the story. I love that one so freaking much. I cried at the end. It's probably my favorite Colleen Hoover book that I read ever. So I was really surprised by that, but I really enjoyed that one, so go check it out. And then the last Colleen Hoover book that I read was Confess, which this one I kind of gave it 3 stars. It was kind of boring a little bit, to be very honest. I did listen to that one as an audiobook, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I felt like it was kind of similar to Reminders of Him a little bit. It had a subplot that was very similar to Reminders of Him, but I didn't really get the romance in Confess. I didn't really understand their love story, so I had a little bit of trouble with that one. But still a really good book, and I would still recommend it if you are a Colleen Hoover fan. The next book that I want to talk to you guys about is My Killer Vacation by Tessa. I read this one in a reading vlog, so once again, go check it out if you want more of my thoughts on it. This one was kind of a little bit of a disappointing read. I ended up giving this one 3 stars, mainly because I was kind of bored reading this book. Like, it's such a short book, but it took me so long to read it. I was just kind of bored throughout it, and I just didn't really... It was very insta-love for me, so I wasn't really connecting with these characters. I thought it was fun, and it's a genre that I want to read more of. It's kind of cozy mystery romance, so I thought it was really cool and interesting and kind of new. Something that I had never read, but I just didn't love this one, so yeah. The next book that I have for you guys is Twisted Hate by Huang. This is the 3rd book in the Twisted Love series. So I gave that one 4 stars on Goodreads, but looking back at it, it's more of a 3.5 stars. It was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was not cute. I don't think that cute is the right word, but I thought it was fun. But it's not very memorable. I think my favorite one is the second one, Twisted Lie. Honestly, this is the first book I read in the month of August, and I don't remember a ton of it. So it's kind of a forgettable book for me looking back on it. I didn't take notes as well, so I barely even remember anything about that book. And so I didn't love the 2 main characters. It's a best friend's brothers trope, which maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I didn't love it, so yeah, that's kind of it. The next book that I have for you guys is The World Next Door by Karina Halle. I'm not sure. This one, once again, was featured in a reading vlog, so I will link it up above. But I love this one. This one took me by surprise. It's a bodyguard romance, but he is not her bodyguard. He was the bodyguard of the royal who lived next door, and I really enjoyed this one. I highly recommend this one. I gave it 4 stars. I loved it. It took me by surprise. It's very much a summer read. She is a elementary school teacher, and she's on her summer break, so it was the perfect read for summer. I feel like it's very washed out. I don't know if you can see it, but I would highly recommend this one if you guys are interested in it. It takes place in Canada, which was really fun to read, and I love this one. The next book that I have for you guys is a book that blew up in the summer on BookTube and everywhere else, and it is Every Summer After by Carley Fortune. I read this one because I was super intrigued. People say this is The Summer I Turned Pretty with Love and Other Words. Basically, if those 2 books had a baby, this would be the book, and that's the perfect way to describe this book. I enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. It's more of like a 3.75 stars. But I thought it was really cute, super fun. The twist at the end, because basically it's about this girl who used to go at this summer beach every summer, and she falls in love with the boy next door. And in present day, they had a big thing that happened and they don't talk anymore, but she has to go back to that summer beach, to that summer house, and they obviously fall in love back again. But the conflict that happened in the past, I was shocked. I was not expecting that. I wish we had more of that resolution and how that got resolved, because it was a big thing and it kind of is just brush off as it's like, oh, it happened in the past, it's fine. But it was a pretty big event. I wish we had more of that, but I really enjoyed this book overall. I love that we got their story also in between this summer when she was younger, because it's not just them during the summer, they also talk to each other during the school year, and we got to see that. We really got to see them like become best friends and form this relationship, and I thought it was really cute. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, 3.75. I thought it was really cute and a really good summer read. Oh, and this one as well takes place in Canada, I'm pretty sure, which was really cool as well to see. And then the last book that I have for you guys for this wrap up is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This I was really intrigued because I've heard it is a fake dating sports romance, which fake dating is one of my favorite tropes in romance books. So I got super excited when I saw that this one is a fake dating. I give this one 4 stars as well. I really enjoyed this one. This is a closed door romance, like pretty much all of them were. Except My Killer Vacation. I think all of the other ones that I read were pretty much closed door, except Twisted Hate, obviously. But this one was really cute. I thought it was really cute. It is a best friends to lovers, which is probably one of my least favorite trope. But I understood their like friendship in this book, which made me really enjoy this book. I really understood why, like how close of a friend they were, like how close-knit their friendship was, and why they were so reluctant to like change their friendship, and just why they were so scared of telling each other that they loved each other, because they really did not want to break their friendship. It got a little bit annoying because we get both perspectives in this book, and they've been in love with each other for like the longest of time, but like both of them. So I could see how it could get a little bit annoying. Like I got a little bit annoyed when like you're reading from her perspective and she's like, I love him but he doesn't love me back, and then you switch into his perspective and he's like, I love her but she will never love me back, and you're just like, ugh, just talk to each other and it's gonna be fine. So that is a little bit annoying, but I really like the fake dating trope. I thought it was really cute, really fun, cute romance book. No spice if you guys are not into spice, so I think it's a really like accessible romance for anyone, and I really enjoyed it. So that's it guys, those are all of the books that I read in the month of August. Have you read any of them? I would love to know in the comments down below your thoughts on them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night depending on when you're watching this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.